Hello guys, welcome to another reading. Today we're taking a look at what spiritual lesson are you learning on your spiritual path right now. So for those of you who are new to the spiritual path, then welcome. Things are about to get rough really quickly. And for those of you who have been on the path for a certain amount of time, you have already learned that there are ups and downs and that there is always another layer to go through. And the only thing you need to do is persevere. So in whichever phase of your spiritual journey you're currently at, this reading should resonate at least to some extent. We have 3 different piles today. We have pile 1 with this essential oil, lemon essential oil. We have pile 2 with peppermint. And we have pile 3, lavender. You can choose your pile. You can even pause the video if you need to meditate on the cards. And always listen to your intuition when it comes to picking the piles. If you're drawn to more than one pile, then look at all of those that you are drawn to. Maybe there's just one sentence that you need to hear within the pile, but it might be a sentence that is worthwhile. Okay? See you guys in your pile. Hi, pile 1. Welcome to your reading. You chose the lemon essential oil. So let's begin. Let's see what spiritual lesson is currently in front of you on your spiritual path. What is there for you to master right now? We have Rajas. Okay, so this is a topic that is well known to me because I have fallen into the trap of Rajas at one point in my spiritual journey. So what you guys need to understand here is that we have 3 different gunas. We have Rajas as the second guna. And Rajas is guna that rules determination, that rules movement, that rules materialism, that rules jealousy, movement, and aspirations, motivations, goals. And I feel that you guys have been achieving a lot lately. You're like an overachiever. You have experienced that you can do a lot, and you have been giving and giving and giving, achieving, setting goals, achieving them. And I feel it has come to a point where you have started to feel a bit tired. You are somebody who is on the verge of a burnout. So if you continue doing things like this, in this manner, in Rajastic manner, a burnout will probably come very quickly. So a lot of you have been able to manifest and achieve a lot of goals and wishes that in previous years you haven't been able to do, haven't been able to manifest. But now, since you have gotten this knowledge, gotten this insight into how the world really works, this process has become a lot easier for you. But it does not come without consequences. You are striving towards excellence, but the problem with Rajas is that you don't actually perceive that you are overdrained. You have overdrained your energy, and you're just giving into all the things around you, and you are not taking the time to rest. So you would be a hard worker, you would be an overachiever, you would be somebody who is obsessed with working towards their goals without the healthy balance of taking an occasional rest, of having occasional fun. You're all about work, goals, achievements. And yes, those are important, of course. However, this is an imbalanced state which cannot lead to anything sustainable for the long run. And there will come a time, if you insist on this energy, where you will probably burn out, where you will probably get an injury, a physical injury, or you will probably develop an illness that will stop you from doing the things you were doing. So this is kind of a warning sound, a sign, sorry guys, a warning sign to take a bit slower. So stop what you're doing, at least stop doing it in this amount, and take a more milder approach. And I have been through this. I can attest to how Rajas ends. It ends with you either gaining an injury, or you will probably be very upset, very anxious, very agitated, because everything around will annoy you, because you would want to achieve in more and more and more, but you will be stopped at a certain point because this energy is not sustainable. And you will develop a lot of jealousy, a lot of you will want to compete with others, even in the things that are not meant to be competitive, okay? And that will definitely drain your energy. And when you drain your energy, you become ill. So this is kind of a warning sign for you guys. I know that some of you will have to go through this experience to really learn the lesson, but since you are here in this reading, I guess that there is a part of you that might want to learn by listening to other people and not to make their mistakes as well. So if you are ready to take this advice and change something, that would be great. If not, then you will just have to go through it, as well as I have and many others have, but then you will definitely learn the lesson, and you will never ever repeat it again, because you will have first-hand experience of what it means to burn with your desires and your motivations. Let's take a deeper look into this. What spiritual lesson are you currently learning on your spiritual path? What do we need to know here, pile one? We have success, of course. If you've ever noticed that most of the business people are always in a hurry, always are very agitated, anxious, that's because they're in this Rajas energy, okay? And this is the energy that when it's in good balance, it gets you going, it gets you motivated, it makes you achieve things, because there is nothing without action. So everybody should have a decent amount of Rajas energy. But when we go into imbalance, this is where the problem starts. And this is what you have to bear in mind, pile one, because this is the lesson you are learning. When is it enough? When do I have to stop and take care of myself in a better way? Let's see what else. And we have dilettante. We have light attributes. Delights in the art without having to be a professional. Perfect. It fits perfect here. Alerts you to the danger of becoming superficial in your pursuits. This is amazing how this ties in with the Rajas. And the shadow attribute, pretension to much deeper knowledge than you actually possess. So why do I believe that this is a perfect fit, and as well with the success here? Because with Rajas, you start being competitive. You start doing things just for the win, and you forget about the why. Why did you start to do it in the first place? You forget that it was once your passion, that it made you feel better, that it made other people feel better, and you start being competitive. You start to feel like you need to be the first one, the best one, the bigger one, etc. Name it. Whatever you can put in that sentence, that's what Rajas is saying to us here. And you don't have to be perfect at what you are doing, because perfectionism will only take you to the extremes. And when you go to the extremes, then you get consequences. Yes, there is a lot of success that can come out of Rajas energy. And at some point you will notice, and this is especially something I've noticed within my coaching work with my clients, is that when you have a certain trauma, it motivates you so badly and to such extent that you really go far in life, because the trauma is driving you, it's giving you energy and power. But on the other hand, it is depriving you of other things on other aspects of your life. And I see that in Rajas here as well. When it's in a balanced state, it will get you far. Yes, you will get a lot of results, a lot of success, but it will not come without the price. Again, I am referring to the word sustainable, because this is the lesson you are learning. You can do a lot, you can achieve a lot, but will you be able to do it in this tempo, in this amount, in a few years, in 5 years, in 10 years, or you will burn, or you will have a burnout, or you will crash or have a mental breakdown. Think about it. Is this sustainable for the long run? And then in that terms, think of whether you will be successful or not. Because success, when it comes overnight, it can just as easily be gone overnight. And there is a much deeper understanding behind Rajas here for you to learn and to really understand. Okay, let's clarify with the tarot. What spiritual lesson are you currently learning on your spiritual path? What do you need to know? We have the Two of Wands. Yeah, perfect. And then again, the fire. The fire. We have the Page of Pentacles. And we have the Eight of Cups. Perfect. So, with the Two of Wands, you are basically giving two paths. Path on which you already are, the path of Rajas in imbalanced state, and the other path that seems a bit more slower, calmer, not so fruitful at first glance. And bear in mind, this is what the first impression of that path looks like. And you have been given a choice whether to continue doing things in this way or to think about where this will lead you to and what will that look like. And this is why this is important, because in the long run, think about whether you can sustain this tempo and this energy within the next 5 years, in the next 10 years, and try to imagine what would your life look like and how would you feel like if you had the same energy in 5 years, in 10 years. And really be attuned to what your body is saying, because I feel that a lot of you are already tired and you are fed up with a lot of things in your life. A lot of things that you are doing is really having like this suffocating effect on you. Sorry guys for the hands, but I'm trying to explain. And I feel that you already know this, but you are being ignorant of it. You're trying to just stay ignorant of it, and you start to move forward thinking that it will resolve itself, but it will not in the way that you wish it would resolve itself. And there is this wisdom in taking things one step at a time and not skipping steps, and really thinking things over and doing things more aligned with sustainability. So if you put all of your energy into one thing, other things in your life will definitely suffer. And for a lot of you here, I feel like you wish to be better in some way. and you are comparing yourselves to others a lot, and you feel like you are being left behind, so you need to hurry, you need to be better, bigger, faster, stronger, whatever, in order to just keep up. And because you are in that state, I feel that you are missing the point, that you don't have the same path or the same life or the same lessons as other people do. And if you continue comparing yourselves to other people, you will never be good enough. You'll never be satisfied with where you are at the moment. And you will feel jealous. You will resent people. You maybe even resent life in the end. Because you will measure yourself and your success with other people's success, but you don't know their backstory. You don't know how they got there, what they had to do or sacrifice to get there, or whether they're actually good at the place they currently are in their lives. You don't see that. You only see the results. But results are very faulty. The perception of them is very faulty. You don't know all the information behind it. So instead of pushing so hard, instead of going forward in such a vigorous manner, for you, it will be ideal to really sit in a meditation or just do something that is very calming, like Tai Chi or Qigong or whatever practice that makes you really calm down, find peace, and become aware of where you're at this present moment. And this is the perfect antidote for the Rajas energy. And with the dilettante, with the Eight of Cups here, we definitely see that you need to move forward or progress or just turn your back to this behavior of the things that you're doing at the moment, because they are not serving you in a way that you would want them to serve you. And until you understand that this is not a competition, that spiritual path is not a competition, and that doing something better than other people does not mean that you are further forward or further away on your spiritual path. Because the spiritual path has different laws. It's not subject to the laws that are in our mundane everyday life. The spiritual path is a whole different level. And if you start applying the average person's perception of how things work on the spiritual path, you will be lost. You will be lost. And you will not go a long way. Let's pull 2 cards for advice. Even though we already know what's the antidote for Rajas, but still, let's see what the cards want to tell you, Pile 1. What would be your advice in this situation? We have Imrama. Where are you being called to journey to? I feel that a lot of you already know that you need to take some time to rest. You already feel it in your body. I feel that a lot of you are tired. You have sore muscles. You are way too stressed out and you need a vacation, or you need just 5 minutes without having your phone ring or somebody calling you or texting you or emailing you. You need peace and quiet, and you know it, guys. I know you do. You are clever. You are not ignorant. You're trying to be ignorant of the situation, but you are not. You are so well in tuned to yourself and your body that you already know it. But it's hard for you to step at this particular time because you feel you need to move forward because you will be left behind. And once you realize that this is not a competition, that spiritual path is not a competition, that it's your path and you are the only one on it, then the only competition you have with yourself is just as irrelevant as competition with other people is. But I feel that this is the lesson you will come to in a short while. Let's see what else. What do you need to know about this? Where can I ask for more help in my life? Until we can receive with an open heart, we're never really giving with an open heart. When we attach judgment to receiving help, we knowingly or unknowingly attach judgment to giving help. Today's soul action. Today, ask someone for help and receive it with an open heart. And today's mantra, I ask for what I want and I'm open to receiving it. So here's a radical idea, guys. So what if the things you are wanting, the goals you're wanting to achieve, what if they will come much easier once you stop striving so hard for them? What if you were just to let go and be calm and be patient and be open to whatever life wants to bring to you? Maybe the things you are wanting here are less than the things that life wants to bring you. Maybe you are very boxed in within your perception of what you really need in your life. Maybe you are meant to receive something bigger and better, but because you're in the perception of wanting to receive bigger and better, you actually cannot see it. You can't see the blessings that life is throwing at you. So sometimes it's most needed to ask for help. And with your current condition, with this competitiveness that you are currently experiencing, it is impossible for you to ask for help because you are too prideful. You're full of pride, and it is beneath you to ask for help because it will mean that you are not as good as you think you are, as good as you're showing yourself to be. And this is the main reason why you are going to be stuck here until you decide to ask for help, until you recognize and admit to yourself that maybe you do not know best and that you are stuck somewhere and then you need somebody to help you see where your way out is. And if we were all capable of walking the spiritual path alone without anybody's help, there wouldn't be any spiritual teachers. So we all need somebody at some point. We all do. And it's not beneath you to ask for help. It actually makes you the bigger person because you are aware of where you currently are and you are humble enough to recognize that you don't have all the answers. And this approach will definitely get you further in life than the Rajas energy itself. My dear Pale One, I hope this helped. I hope that this reading was not just resonating, but that it was also informative and the topics that you may or may not know about. I do have a lot of things I can talk to you about, but I think that will come in time throughout the readings, as it has already happened on my creation channel. I will give you all the knowledge and wisdom that I have collected through my years on the spiritual path as a spiritual teacher, as an NLP coach, as a yoga teacher, and etc. Not to mention all of it because it is irrelevant at the end. But I do wish to share my knowledge with you, and I wish to do it for free. You don't have to pay for it because I feel that today you can find all the information you need online, and I'm definitely willing to share for you to have a benefit from it. And if some of you guys decide to go deeper, then of course I do have a lot of programs. I do individual coaching sessions, I do a lot of workshops, meditations, etc. online, which a lot of you can join if you decide that you wish to know a bit deeper about these topics. And then we can see what exchange can we make to actually equalize the benefits you are getting and the time that I'm putting in. But we'll talk about that sometime in the future. Again, I hope this resonated for you guys, and I hope that I see you in the next reading. Bye. Hi, Pile 2. Welcome to your reading. You chose the peppermint essential oil, so this is the reading that you need to hear today. Let's take a look at the spiritual lesson you are currently learning on your spiritual path. We have Sita. So Sita is a goddess of loyalty, of devotion, of somebody who is so kind that it surpasses our human perception of what kindness actually is. And I feel that the lesson you need to be learning at the moment is that your kindness is directed towards the wrong people. And I have to note here that being kind to everybody is a virtue, and you don't have to lose it or change it, but you do need to recognize, pal, too, that your overgiving of kindness and devotion to people who haven't shown you any gratitude or appreciation for it is making you a bit like, how should I put it without, I hope nobody gets insulted, but you're just being stepped over. Like you're like a doormat here. Okay, guys, sorry for the word, but I feel like you have been so giving to other people. You have put everybody in front of you, in front of yourself, and you have put yourself last, and you're still giving everything to everyone and not respecting yourself, not appreciating yourself. And unfortunately, you are surrounded with people who are ungrateful, who don't value the things you are giving them. And through that devotion and loyalty that you have shown towards those people, they should be gratifying you. They should be thankful. They should be caring for you in the most beautiful ways. But I feel that a lot of them are even treating you horribly. Maybe they are bad-mouthing you. Maybe they are ignoring you. Some of you might have been even cheated on by those people. Maybe some of those people betrayed you as well. But you stayed loyal regardless. And I feel that the lesson for you here is to really understand when enough is enough. You can be kind to everybody, but there comes a point when you need to stop being so open and so giving because it's harming you. And you don't have to yell at them, you don't have to insult them, you don't have to pick fights with them. The only thing you need to do is protect your energy and not be overgiving. And really look at their actions and let their actions speak louder than words. Because if they talk to you and promise you stuff, but then later on do not do the things they promised, I think that is a clear indication that that person is not ready to be a person that can reciprocate the things you are giving to them. And I feel that you are such a gentle soul. All of you guys from pile 2, you're such a good person deep down inside. You just want everybody to be good, to feel happy, to be content. You want everything to work out. But I want you to hear this clearly. You guys are not responsible for other people or their actions or how they feel. This is not your responsibility. You are not put here to make them happy. And moreover, you're not put here to make them happy on your account and by harming yourself within the process. Bear that in mind, pal, too, because I feel that you are hurting yourself with this. You do have the best intentions, but your best intentions are hurting you. Bear that in mind. Let's take a deeper look at this. What spiritual lesson are you currently learning on your spiritual path? We have transformation, which definitely talks about that the time has come to end toxic patterns from your life, to end relationships that are based on toxic connections and dynamics. It's time to end this. The time has come for you to find people who are more aligned with your values, who live in the way that they talk and they present themselves, who are walking their talk, and who are definitely more compatible with you, pal, too. The time has come to do that, but you need to end this. You are the one who has the power to go through this transformation and find those people for yourself. Let's see what else. What spiritual lesson are you currently learning on your spiritual path? How to? The teacher, beautiful. The light attribute, ability to communicate knowledge, experience, skill, or wisdom. And shadow attribute, manipulating or abusing students, teaching negative traits and destructive skills. So a lot of you feel inferior here, as if you are the pupil to this teacher, as you are the student. Never good enough, never smart enough. You're always the one that has to be quiet, that has to let other people take the spotlight. You are the one that always keeps to themselves. You don't want to impose. You don't want anybody to feel bad. And all of that is beautiful. But you are selling yourself short, pal, too. You are so wonderful in your essence that it is such a shame that you don't see yourselves through my eyes. I do not see you, but I see you, if you know what I mean. I see you, I feel you, I hear you through the cards, pal, too. And you are such a beautiful creature, such a beautiful soul, who is more than capable of standing in the shoes of this teacher and to actually be the one who speaks with wisdom, with compassion. But you are selling yourself short. You're allowing other people to manipulate you and abuse you. And you're justifying it with kindness, like, I have to be kind. And this is the trap that a lot of people on the spiritual path fall into. Because they preach kindness, they lack boundaries. They confuse kindness with being a doormat. And this is not what kindness is all about. Okay? So be kind, of course, but do not let our people just demolish. And I really feel like people are demolishing your boundaries here. And you're just watching it and allowing them to do so because you want to be kind. You don't want to hurt them. You don't want to upset them. But actually, it's you guys who need to be upset. Somebody stepped over your boundary with such aggression, with such neglect. You should be the one that is angry. But because you are not angry, you are passive here. And the first moment that you can be angry at somebody because they did that to you, you will move forward. You will transform. The fire from the angriness will transform the situation into something new. Anger in itself is not a bad emotion. It's an emotion that gets you going, gets you do stuff. But currently you're in apathy, in sadness, in powerlessness. And those emotions are so down the emotional scale, the vibrational scale, that you are not moving. You cannot move. So I do hope, guys, that you get angry real soon, because you need it. You need it to be able to transform your life to better. Let's see what Tarot has to say about this. What spiritual lesson are you currently learning on your spiritual path, pile 2? The 6 of Wands, yes. What else? The 5 of Wands. I'm going to tell you why I'm laughing in a second. Don't worry, guys. And the 6 of Cups. Yeah. So, the thing that you are learning is that you do have a place on a pedestal. So, you've been putting every other people you meet on a pedestal, every other person you put them on a pedestal, but why there is no room for you is the question you should be asking yourself. Why do you feel you're not worthy of standing beside them, or maybe even standing at first place? You have to be on the throne next to them, but you don't feel you're worthy of it, that you deserve it, that it's your place, that it's time for you. You don't feel that, guys. And you need to answer yourself, why is that? Where does that come from? Where did I learn that behavior? When did I believe that this is something that is truth for me? And when you get to that answer, pile 2, you will recognize that sometimes the kindest thing to do for somebody is to tell them no, is to tell them hell no, and to tell them, go away, I don't need you anymore. Sometimes the kindest thing to do for somebody is to actually confront them and go into an argument, to be able to release both sides from this dynamic, which is not actually healthy. Okay? So maybe you just have this perception that spiritual people, spiritual teachers are always calm, they're always in equilibrium. But guys, if you have that perception, then you have been sold a lie. Why? Because you are human. And it is normal for you to have feelings, the feelings that feel good, as well as the feelings that feel bad. The only difference between a spiritual person and the average person is that the spiritual person knows when a feeling arises, that there is a message behind it, that there is something within ourselves that is still not in balance, and that we have ways of getting back into balance once that emotion arises. That's the only difference. And we don't allow those feelings to take the better of us and to motivate us into certain actions that we would later regret. So if you guys have a perception that spiritual people are always calm, never get angry, never get sad, I beg of you, change that immediately, because that is your road to unhappy, unsatisfied, unfulfilled life full of judgment towards yourself, because you have set an impossible standard for yourself. And I feel that you are already there. You have set a standard for yourself to be kind always. But kindness for you looks like being a doormat. And I know it feels bad. You can feel it as well, guys. You know it does. Let's see some advice, some guidance for pile 2 and this situation. What do you need to know here? You're already doing it. Stop overthinking. Keep facing your true north. So you already know what you should do. I feel that a lot of you have gotten the urge to actually say something, to do something in this situation, but you have stopped yourself because you felt that it was not kind, it was not loyal to somebody. But maybe the thing you had the urge to do was coming from your higher self to free you from this situation. And don't worry if you will look unkind or somebody will perceive you as unkind, because that's only perception. Everybody has some type of perception, and it's subjective. It's not the truth. It's not objective truth. So don't bother with how other people will think of you. Only have time and focus for what the thing you are doing will bring to you. And sometimes you might end up being really surprised that the behaviors that you thought of are unkind are the most kind thing you can do to yourself and to other people. But that's just the lesson that you need to go through right now. And with the Six of Cups here, this is like the best part of this reading till now. And I haven't addressed it. I just noticed, so I had to go back a bit. So with the Six of Cups, I feel you have forgotten that at some point in your life, you had so many aspirations, so many beautiful visions for the future. You had all the resources to achieve those. But somebody broke your spirit. Somebody said, no, if you do that, you'll be a bad girl or a bad boy. No, bad girls and bad boys do that. Good girls and good boys do not do that. And you just adapted. And you took on the behaviors that somebody else deemed as the ones that the good girl and the good boy has. And you have stopped yourself from going in a direction that you truly want to go because you felt you needed to. And once you free yourself from this false sense of kindness, I feel you will definitely free a lot of your resources, a lot of your aspirations that have been held back at the moment. And let us take a look at one more card for advice. What does Pile 2 need to hear right now about this situation? Am I focused on what am I losing or gaining? Exactly. I love when this happens. So what did I just say? You need to see what will you get if you change this behavior, or what will you lose if you get this behavior, as well as if you keep this behavior, what is there to gain and lose as well. Let's take a look at the back of the card. Are you going through some change? Yep. Are you scared to let go because of what you might lose? What if you shifted your focus from what you might lose to what you might gain? Endings are actually new beginnings. And today's soul action. Today, make a list of all the things you will gain from the change you are going through. Feel your heart, take a breath, and deepen into trust. Amazing things are coming. So, guys, you're staying here because you feel that if you change your behavior, there is something to be lost. Something will be taken away from you. But instead of thinking in those terms, maybe shift your focus towards, if I change my behavior in this way, what can I gain? What good can come out of it for me? And focus on that and let that be the motivation that is needed for you to go through this transformation that is so needed for you guys. My dear Pile 2, I hope this helped. I hope this gave you a bit more information than you had yesterday or before this reading. And I hope that this was interesting, and I hope that you like me talking about certain information that go way beyond this reading itself, but I feel it is necessary for you guys to hear it. And this is my way of doing the readings and the way that I like to do my work and the way that I do it on my creation channel as well. I wish to give you all the knowledge that I possess, and I wish for you to have it here for free. If you ever decide to go a bit deeper, then of course you can book some of my services, but that's something we can discuss some other time. I hope this, guys, is something that will motivate you to make the change that presented here as necessary for you. And I hope that I see you in next reading. Bye. Hi, Pile 3. Welcome to your reading. You have chosen the Lavender Essential Oil, so this is your reading. Let's take a look at what spiritual lesson are you currently learning on your spiritual path. And we have Pitta. So Pitta is one of 3 doshas. I am primarily or dominantly Pitta dosha, so I can very much relate to the energy here. And if you were drawn to pile one as well, I feel that some of you may have a connection there. So maybe check that out if you feel like it. So Pitta is dosha that is built from fire primarily and water. But fire is the one that actually gives it its most dominant effect. And I feel that a lot of you are very angry at the moment. A lot of you are feeling that something is unfair, that you have faced some injustice that hasn't been resolved to your favor, or nor do you think it will in the future. And maybe for some of you, the thing that is lacking here is the greater picture, to see how this particular situation falls into the greater scheme of things. Because if you take only this situation, it's easy to believe that you have been done wrong, or that somebody owes you something, and maybe they do, but maybe this situation is not the one that you should set the record straight with. Maybe this is not the situation where you balance the scales. Maybe this has to be like this for the moment, because you need to go through this experience to be able to learn some valuable lessons here. And I know that this is not comforting, not the slightest, but let's take a practical example. Maybe you have had a partner who betrayed you, who hurt you, who cheated on you. And we can say that this is not fair, right? We can objectively say it's not fair towards you. However, this is the injustice that you cannot put back into balance. And it will stay that way. You will not change the fact that this person cheated on you, that they betrayed you. But the thing that you can change when you look at the bigger picture is how you and the partner that cheated on you contributed to the situation to happen in the first place. And it's a hard pill to swallow, because you have to take accountability on why you were in this type of a relationship, what on your side contributed to the things that happened here, and why did you choose that type of a partner. And I know that's not something that it's easy to hear, because some of you will feel a lot of guilt, but this is not what is said here, okay? So Pitta is somebody who is very determined, who is very motivated, and somebody who wishes to achieve a lot. And they're hardworking, and they're structured. And because of it, they like rules. And they are not tolerable of anybody who breaks those rules. And Pitta needs to learn to be less stubborn. And this does not mean to be overly forgiving to those who hurt you or betrayed you. It just means that maybe you are very, very stubborn in some aspect of this situation that is triggering you. And you need to find a more softer approach. But let's go more in depth here to see what is this about, to see what this lesson is. What does pile 3 need to hear about their spiritual lesson on their spiritual path? Yeah, we have release. You need to let go of something. And for Pitta, it's very easy to cling, to have this firm grip on things, on people, because they like control. They like things in a certain way. Like all of my OCDs here, people with OCDs, you can really easily fall under the Pitta influence, because I used to have this obsession, and I still have it in some extent, to arrange things by color, like my closet, or maybe the blankets in my yoga studio. So everything had to be arranged in a certain system, and I would get so angry and so agitated when something wasn't sorted in the way that I wanted it to be. So there is the stubbornness and over excessively fantasizing about certain structures that are actually not so beneficial when you look at how much time and energy they consume. So in that terms, maybe you should take a look at where in your life you are being so stubborn, so determined to do it your way and your way only, that it's making you come out of balance. Okay, so this can have a lot to do with your relationships as well as your work, but as well as your health. So think about where this can be applied, because it can be applied on every certain thing in your life, but see where this is your topic, in which area this resonates with you. Let's see what else. We have the gambler, the light attribute, willingness to follow intuition even when others doubt you. And the shadow attribute, relying on luck rather than hard work. So I feel that most of you here in one end are somebody who is so determined, who have such a strong willpower that you can go through situations when everybody else would already back out, already retreat. You go through them with such fierceness and such courage, and you go through all of that and you endure all of that, and everybody sees that you have achieved something marvelous. But at the other hand, you have other aspects of your life when you're relying on luck, when you lack this determination, and just wing it. And those aspects are the aspects of your life that need to be addressed, because some of you are way too stubborn in the things that you push forward with, and others of you from pile through are way too stubborn in not addressing the things you are not moving in or towards a future with. So it goes two ways here. Look at the things you are overly focused on, but as well look at the things where you lack focus entirely. And both of those ends need to be addressed in a way that brings you back into balance. Let's pull some tarot cards to see what spiritual lesson are you currently learning on your spiritual path, pile 3. Okay, yeah, the Six of Pentacles. Giving and receiving, which is always a topic for Pitta. Why? Because Pitta has a tendency to overdo everything, to do things to such extent that it burns out. And a lot of you need to recognize where your boundary is. How far can you take something before it becomes harmful for you? And again, I'm going to mention this is very similar to pile 1's topic. So if you were drawn to that pile as well, you may want to check it out. Let's see what else. We have the Knight of Cups. Wow. And a jumper, 7 of Swords. Yeah. So you need to learn to be gentle with yourself. This is what I'm getting with the Knight of Cups. You need to approach yourself as if you would approach somebody who is dear to you. Approach yourself with gentleness, with kindness, with compassion that you lack when you act toward yourself. And with the 7 of Swords here, I feel that you are basically setting a trap for yourself. You're giving yourself way too much in one aspect, and in other aspects you are not giving yourself at all. And this is sabotage. You're sabotaging yourself. You're sabotaging your progress. You're actually tapping in place while thinking that you're progressing so fast because you're going so fast in a certain direction, but you are actually tapping in place. You're staying in place. You're walking in place. And you are self-sabotaging here. Let's take some advice for you guys. Advice or guidance for pile 3. What do you need to know about this situation. The ever unfolding rose. This is such a beautiful card and such a beautiful message. Cracked open. It's happening for you, not to you. So if you're angry at someone or at something, remember this message. This is not happening to you. It's happening for you. It's making you see what actions and what decisions led you to this point, led you to this situation, so that you feel this way. And with the ever unfolding rose, you have a promise that your progress will never come to an end. There is always steps to be taken and to progress forward. And maybe it's not a competition, maybe it's not a race, so do you have to take as many steps as you can. It's a journey that needs to be enjoyed. You need to stop and smell the roses in each step and not race this, okay? Because there is no goal, there is no end, no finish line. There's always another step and another step and another step. And if you just approach this as a race, you will never enjoy any of the steps you take, and it will become pointless. You will lose the why. You will lose the reason why you're even doing any of this. You will lose the satisfaction and happiness that can come from the path, from the steps you're taking. And let's take one final card for guidance and for advice here. How can I deepen my trust right now? Trust, surrender. Let go of the wheel. You can trust. You can trust yourself. Trust fully in yourself so that you can deepen your trust in others. Trust creates safety, and when we feel safe, we feel unstoppable. Today's soul action. Let go and trust. Today, find your center in the chaos and be certain with yourself so you can deepen your trust in others. So, for a lot of you, trust issues are the biggest problem here. And for you to be able to trust other people again, you need to address it. Because some of you might even feel that you cannot trust yourself anymore. And until you resolve that issue, you will have a problem opening yourself up to others. And you will deprive yourselves of beautiful experiences that life has to give. Because life in its core is made up out of relationships. And if you're not able to share, to make a relationship, to make bonds, to create bonds with other people, you will have a big hole in your life, a big emptiness that will want to be filled, but it will not be able to be filled because you do not trust. My dear pile 3, step out of your mind, step out of your convictions, and try a bit of a softer approach and allow yourself to feel and to open yourself up. Until next time, pile 3.